Nicole Kidman and Zac Efron are back together again, but no, this is not a sequel to the Paperboy, sadly. I wish it were.
She does not pee on him in this one. We can report that
No one
much.
pees on anybody because it's a wholesome Netflix rom-com. This is called A Family Affair. You guys subscribe and come hang out with us because we are so close. We are millimeters away to our totally arbitrary goal of 30,000 subscribers by the end of the summer. It's been so nice to welcome so many new folks. We hope that you will join us as well. Alonso, what is A Family Affair about?
Zac Efron is Mr. French in... No, that's another... I'm all with the jokes for old people today. Okay.
I got that one, though.
Thank you.
Mrs. Beasley.
It. And you're young.
Mom?
Zara, if you can hear me, name the movie I won a Teen Choice Award for.
Zac Efron is a vain movie star. I mean, he plays a vain movie star. And his harried assistant is played by Joey King. Her mom is a widowed novelist played by Nicole Kidman, who, since the death of her husband 11 years previous, has not really flourished creatively. She's been trying to get it out, but it just doesn't. She feels kind of blocked. Her editor and closest friend is her late husband's mother, played by Kathy Bates. One day, Efron's character comes by the house after he and Joey King have had one of their many arguments, and he's trying to get her to come back to work for him. He meets Kidman's character for the first time, and the sparks and the tequila are happening, and before they know it, they're in bed together, much to the consternation of Joey King, who is horrified because she's the one who has to go buy the breakup earrings that this guy always gets to ditch his girlfriends. She knows, like, how he uses women and walks away from them, and so he does not want her mom to be next. Also doesn't want her mom sleeping with her boss. Also not really sure that she wants her mom sleeping with anybody. So complications and wackiness ensue. This is directed by, but not written by, Richard LaGravenese, who is a master of this kind of movie as a writer, certainly. And as a director, also, he's very good at kind of female-centric projects, be they P.S. I Love You or The Last 5 Years. And this is a pretty fluffy Netflix rom-com. It is even set at Christmas, and as Zac Efron's character is making a Christmas movie that everybody says sounds terrible, and somehow it sounds exactly like Red One, which Netflix is putting out this Christmas. So, okay. This movie is fun, and there's a lot of zingers. It's written by Carrie Solomon, who's new in this field, but I laughed a lot over the course of the movie. I also felt at some point that all of these characters needed to be in a lot of therapy because people don't communicate well. They don't understand each other's motivations and what they're doing and why. And so there are moments where you understand why Joey King is objecting to this relationship, but you also wish you'd stop being kind of a brat about it. And there are also times where you think that, like, Nicole Kidman is oblivious as to how her actions are affecting Joey King, especially when she goes to work rewriting the crappy movie, when Joey King was hoping to get a friend of hers, played by Sherry Cola, the great Sherry Cola, to get the gig. So the characters all drove me up the wall, but there's a lot of fun, very inside LA stuff here. I'm sure you have thoughts about the geography. And I laughed enough that I forgave it its other, flaws.
I laughed out loud a whole lot for the first half hour or so.
Okay.
All the Hollywood stuff is very, very funny. Like all the specifics with Zac Efron's life and the movie that he's working on, and just all the people in his employ, and the fact that Joey King is
of his house,
the fact that, like, Joey King's character is, like, friends with the paparazzi who stalk him. I mean, there's a lot of really inside LA, inside Hollywood stuff here that is so funny, and I enjoy Zac Efron making fun of his pretty boy image in the way that, like, James Marsden has for a while.
Sure,
I think that is, and Chris Hemsworth is good at that too. Like, people who are just impossibly beautiful, but also can laugh at themselves. Like, I really enjoyed that. And so I thought that was really, really great. And he and Nicole Kidman have nice chemistry,
They do.
Along the lines of, The Idea of You, which is on Prime
Very
Video,
much, yes.
where you have the older woman hooking up with the younger guy who is a superstar. They've aged everyone up a little bit. Nicole Kidman's supposed to be like 50, and he's supposed to be like 34, I want to say. So there's like a 16-year difference, but same kind of issues as far as finding love and feeling desirable later in life and the complications of dating this extremely famous person. So again, fluff, escapism, but that chemistry makes it work quite a bit. And Joey King has been doing this for so long, been doing like sitcom-y stuff for so long that her timing is just really precise and she makes it look effortless. And so basically it's a Nancy Meyers movie. Without Nancy Meyers, in terms of like the houses and the throw pillows and the sweaters and the clothes. One of the running bits is that Nicole Kidman is this like extremely esteemed writer, and so having done stuff for Vogue, they just throw like Balenciaga and Chanel stuff at her, and she's built like Nicole Kidman, so she can wear everything. And so that's again a nice little bit of escapist fluff as far as the clothes and like where they go on their dates. And so I enjoyed it a lot. And then Kathy Bates always livens things up. Kathy Bates is always a joy. And she is, of course, in her coastal grandma chic, in her oatmeal colored cardigans, and they have the lodge and the mountains. Like, it's all escapist stuff where, like, how can anybody possibly afford all this stuff?
Right.
They do. Then also Zac Efron has a house in Malibu besides his Beverly Hills mansion. So I enjoyed all that. A cozy montage of, like, romping by the sea. It's like, I think I would say it's a Fold Your Laundry movie, but it is made better than that and maybe would merit your full attention.
Yeah, I mean, it's like there are a lot of Netflix movies lately that feel like Hallmark movies with a bit of a budget, you know?
Yeah.
So like our Christmas movies have, you know, Brooke Shields in them or whatever, you know, but for the most part, they're still like they're made by MPCA. They're still very much Hallmark movies. This one feels a little bit on the shelf above that one, you know? So yeah, it is closer to Nancy Meyers territory than the Hallmark territory, although there is a Hallmarky aesthetic and kind of structure to a lot of it. But again, I think, yeah, you're right. This is a little bit above that.
You should know who shot this. Do you know who shot this?
Who shot this?
Don Burgess, who is Robert Zemeckis' longtime DP, who shot Forrest Gump and Contact and Castaway. Okay. Prestige, baby.
I don't know that I gleaned that from any shot of this movie, but I mean, sure, great.
I also shot that horrible Pinocchio that he did.
Oof.
Oh, and Aquaman. Oh, and the Christmas Chronicles, Alonso. You know that one.
There we go. And anyway, Aquaman, which Kidman was in. a
long time. And he shot 42 and Flight and the Muppets. That Muppets that Jason Segel did.
Yes.
Anyway, Prestige. But so I thought this all looked great from like a production standpoint and the clothes and the interiors. And yes, I have a question about why she's at Randy's Donuts at one point and then going down the California incline to go to Malibu. But I let it go. That's how entranced I was.
Yeah, there's a lot of like we get to Malibu real fast in this movie that I was, you know, a little baffled about. And I mean, like even, you know, his two homes are incredibly grand, but even like the backyard of Kidman's house where Joey King lives has these spectacular views as well.
It's like on a bluff.
Totally, yeah. So like no one's sweating the rent in this movie, and that's fine. Like sometimes you want that brand of fluff, and as that brand of fluff goes, this is pretty good.
Yes. So what's your number then?
Like 7. You know, it is solidly what it is and delivers what it does, and no more. I'll say that.
Yeah, I would say 7.5 in that it's well made and it's a really enjoyable escape and it's very, very funny quite often. And everyone here is a pro. It is a little too long and it drags on a bit in terms of its like resolution, but.
Yeah, they could definitely be cutting to the chase a few times, but I mean, I laughed even beyond the first half hour. I think there's a pretty consistent, like there are some zingers that are popping up the whole time. So yeah, it is. If you like people who like this sort of thing, will like this sort of thing.
A Family Affair is on Netflix. Check it out.